By the end of this video, you'll have your third tool in your mindfulness-based toolkit for overthinking. And this tool will be training to be in the present moment, which is another word for mindfulness. But being in the present moment will take away a lot of the impact and negativity that overthinking has over us. So let's get into it. So there's two ways training to be present using mindfulness can reduce our overthinking. The first would be to notice and recognize that it's always the present moment and that most of our overthinking is about the past or about the future. And the second way that mindfulness and training in the present can reduce overthinking would be that being able to notice when we're distracted and lost in thought and then come back to the present moment will connect us more directly with the tasks that we're actually trying to do, and they'll connect us more with the experience of sights, of sounds, of smells, of tastes, of touches, of connections, of conversations, and all that good stuff. So one of the most important things I ever learned from mindfulness training was from Sam Harris, where he had a beautiful little monologue where it's called "It's Always Now," and it's a complete truth about the mind, that it is always the present moment, and it's our thoughts that take us into the past or take us into the future. So this non-judgmental training of just noticing the content of consciousness over and over again and coming back to the present moment in a compassionate way, in a non-judgmental way, and bringing our attention back to the current task we're doing, or just noticing our thoughts are usually about the past, about the future. They could be shoulds and coulds, and oh, I wish I'd done that then, and oh, I wish I could do better in the future, and all of these things, or conversations you were having with somebody else, now you're replaying them in the present moment, they're about the past, or anticipation and worry and planning about the future, that's actually in the future. Rather than in the present, and they're appearing in the present, but they're usually about things that are negative, out of our control, and that have already happened or are yet to happen, both of which are just thoughts. And training in mindfulness and recognizing and concentration and noting that we did in the previous two videos will all sort of come together and piece our mindfulness practice into one thing, which is training to be present for what's here and what's now. And really, overthinking and rumination about the present, unless you're in the absolute worst situation, isn't really what's happening. You're doing something and then your overthinking has put you back in the past or put you in the future, and you're just not really connecting to what's happening right now. And I do this all the time, and I'm just so grateful I have tools like these to, when I do get distracted, bring myself back and just notice right here, right now. You can't be thinking about the past or thinking the future if you notice the reality of that situation. That, well, to put it another way, Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher, says that if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you're at peace, you're living in the present. And that's a really great little metaphor or use of language to depict mindfulness, to train to be in the present now, to realize that thoughts can appear, you can let go of them, but when they start to build up and take over and become these cycles of overthinking, you can just notice them and then see, are they in the past or are they in the future? What's happening in the mind right now? And mindfulness is the way to look into that. So I hope that's the first little bit of these tools covered and you can take something from that. Now let's go and look at how mindfulness training can manage overthinking by connecting us to the tasks that we're presently doing. So mindfulness can really connect us to our life in a more direct way. And overthinking is the antithesis of this. It's the enemy of this. It's the enemy of mindfulness. Overthinking provides this overlay or this sort of scrim onto our experience. So you could be going through your day, and instead of seeing lovely things and noticing beautiful sounds and connecting with conversations with people, there's this overlay over the top of experience of an internal dialogue, a monologue with ourselves that we can't really seem to stop a lot of the time. So there's there's a beautiful reality that our life is usually outside of our head, of our thoughts, of our experience. It's out here. So if there's a way that I can get across to you that mindfulness can not only help you do with concentration, you can use noting, you can notice that it's always now, it's always the present. But if you can connect with your life more directly, that's a wonderful thing I hope I can give to you. So meaningful engagement, Peterson talks about this, Sam Harris talks about this, is the point in life. To be engaged in an activity in a meaningful way, even if it's a fairly mundane one, to be engaged with it in a meaningful way takes the need to ask the question of what's the point, what's the meaning, because you're already engaged, you're already involved in life and participating in life. And to be lost in thought, to be distracted, to be thinking about the past or the future is taking us away from connecting with our experience directly, from the sights, from the sounds, from the smells, from the tastes, from the touches, with interactions with people, of reading good books, of watching things and actually being there to enjoy them rather than thinking about what's in the past, in the future, or just lost in thought generally. So one example I'll give you, I was at the theatre the other day with some friends, and it was an amazing piece of theatre. I was really engaged with it, and about 25 minutes in, all of a sudden I was just thinking about stuff at home or other things I had to do tomorrow, and I just caught myself, and I just noticed, using I guess tools for mindfulness, that these are just thoughts appearing in my mind. And why would I want to entertain these thoughts rather than the sights and sounds and auditory experience that I was having that I'd actually intended to have? So using a tool like mindfulness to connect in a meaningful way to our experience is probably one of the most useful and most interesting things I've ever taken away from mindfulness, to be present with your life. And yeah, I really hope these two tools together can help you and connect with your experience, and yeah, you take a lot from it. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure making this one. There will be another part of the video coming up on overthinking where we'll look a bit more into identification with thoughts and another couple of techniques on how you can manage overthinking. So for now, take care, my friends.